what I use the term grab the watch, all right? And I'll explain the different situations that we want to utilize this technique with, okay? But overall, this is a ball security technique that is an all-inclusive coaching point that entails ball security and contact balance, all right? And so bear with the picture. This is the best, believe it or not, the best picture I could find of this, okay? So with this technique, we want our eyes up, okay? We want to reduce surface, which I'll show here in a second when we get to our video. Tuck the elbow, which we talked about with our single hand ball security. Okay, we want to get skinny, meaning we want to reduce as much surface area as possible and tighten our elbows up to our body. And then ultimately, as you see here, we want to grab the watch. We want to literally grab our wrist and bring our hand into our body, okay? So the situations we want to use this is number one is a vice situation, meaning multiple defenders are converging on you, or some guys say like in traffic, all right? If we have a near ball defender, all right, I like to utilize this technique with a near ball defender, especially for bigger backs. It forces them to reduce surface. And I think it's a way, number one, to protect the football, because we might get a helmet on the ball by a near ball defender, but also it's a kind of a cheat code to reducing your surface. And I'll explain that here in a second as well. And then the strike zone, all right, meaning whenever we get in a 2-yard radius between us and in a vice situation, or us and a near ball defender, that's when we want to start utilizing this technique. All right, and I'll show you here on film in a second how we drill that. And then the details, we talked about pull wrist back into the body and reduce surface. Reduce surface means, or some people say, hey, we need to run with good pad level. I like using the term reducing. We want to reduce surface. All right. Key coaching points, we want our eyes up. We talked about that. We always want to pick a side, all right? We don't ever want to run down the middle of a single defender, and we want to try to set it up and then try to knife in between the vice situation. And I'll show you how that shows up on the drill work. And then we want to always expect to come out on the other side. It's a mindset, and so it's an all-inclusive coaching point. We're working ball security number one, but it also is going to be a way that's going to help us be able to add to your yards after contact, okay? So here we call this the Mixon drill, okay? Joe Mixon, I did a study on him last offseason, and I think he's the best at utilizing this technique, and he protects the football, but I think it's a big reason why he always averages a lot of yards after contact. And so I really enjoy watching him play the game, and he's a good reference for my running backs that I use, because he's obviously a big-time running back, but he has really good detail that allows him to be successful as well, okay? And so you'll see this drill structure here that we have set up. All right, on this next clip, okay, similar drill structure as far as, we're working a 5-yard radius here. We're working the exact detail of this technique here. And so we don't need a lot of conditioning, but we do need a lot of detail in this. And so as you see here, we want to grab the watch. We don't want to grab the watch starting at 5 yards away from the defenders. I'm going to be too slow on contact. I'm not going to have a power base by the time I get there, because I'm running. I don't want to run with both my arms covered. So I want to run. I want to get 2 yards before I grab the watch. Okay. Also, don't want to wait till I get all the way here in the vice situation or in the storm to grab the watch. Okay, because now it's number one, a ball security issue. It's going to be a little bit probably too late, and now I'm at risk of them being able to rip the ball out. But also, I'm not going to be able to reduce my surface level in a fast enough to be able to knife through this device situation. Okay, so you see here where we're working. Okay, number one, always eyes up. Eyes up is the key component to having success with contact balance. Okay, and so that's where we're working. But as you see here, exaggerated reducive surface and exaggerating grabbing the wrist and bringing it back into your body, okay? And then we want to maintain that reducive surface all the way through contact. So here's a good look right here, okay? Maintain it and then finish on the other side, okay? So that's what we got, a start cone and a finish cone. But that 2-yard radius is what we're really focusing on right here. And this is kind of the foundation of the technique when we first install it. All right, so going back, in our previous conversation, we talked about single hand ball security, wrist above the elbow, tuck the elbow, eyes up, our major components. As you see here, all we're taking that base single hand ball security, and all we're doing is bringing our opposite hand to our wrist and bringing it back into our body, reinforcing the ball into our body, but also putting myself in a position to get skinny and keep my eyes up. All right, and so that's what we're working here. Show you maybe one or two more. Okay, I don't like his pad level here. I like grabbing a watch. I think he does a good job of getting skinny. He needs to reduce surface a little bit more. All right, and so I like holding the pad on this drill because I want to see their eyes. All right, I'm trying to quality control their eyes as well as their reduce the surface, and so that's why I like to stand there and kind of give them give the look. And this is pretty much where we want to be right here. We want to be reduced, and we want to grab the watch. Okay, showing it kind of how it carries over to the game situations. We'll pull a couple clips here. Okay, so here's Joe Mixon doing it. All right, and this is kind of what I always show my guys, why I really think he's the best at this technique right here. And so I'll show you kind of an example when I'm first installing this with my guys, this technique, and the day before we do the drill, I want to show them how he utilizes this to not only protect the football, but to reduce surface. And so right here is what we're looking for. We get in this vice situation. We got two defenders. We want to split them. We got to have our eyes up. We got to reduce surface. Okay, as you see, the elbows are both tucked. His eyes are up. He reduced surface, and now that's why he's able to not only protect the football, which as we see they're trying to rip the ball out, but he's able to take these defenders, and we add 4 yards after contact right here. Okay, and so it's not okay just to protect the football. We want to protect the football and get yards after contact. Okay, and so here's the last kind of a final drill structure I'll show you. So carrying over. So now once we have a good foundation of grabbing a watch, okay, from that Mixon drill that we showed earlier, just working that contact, working that strike zone, then we carry over, and now we try to create true muscle memory. And so I like to use this physio ball, make them react to it. So I give them a go call. As soon as I give them a go call, they work vertical. Then they have to react one way or the other to the physio ball. Okay, the reason why I want to do that, I don't like static drills where they can kind of be on autopilot, and like the previous drill, I would consider it more of a static drill, but that's necessary to build a foundation, for the technique. And so once we kind of understand the technique and the strike zone and how that applies, now we want to put them in situations where they got to troubleshoot things on the go and try to simulate a game-like environment for them in the drill structure. And so as you see, ultimately we get back to that same spot that we were in that previous drill structure, okay, but we're working where they're having to troubleshoot from a footwork standpoint immediately, avoid the defender, okay, and then work on being able to do a footwork action and getting back to the foundation of our technique. All right, and so that's where we're just in a process of accelerating our muscle memory. And so as you see here, the ball, I could throw the ball one way or the other. They have to avoid. It could be a jump cut, a side step, whatever they need to do that's necessary to avoid the physio ball. And then it forces them to get back vertical and then utilize their technique in a game-like simulation. All right, now I'll show you one more here. Okay, so here, avoid and then get back vertical, and then we're just working that, grab the watch and getting skinny through contact. Right, and just show a couple more clips, how it shows up on film. I'll bust through these drill clips, and then I'll show you how it pertains to game film. Okay, so once again, when it comes to ball security and when it comes to contact balance, I always believe I like watching from this angle because it shows me everything I need to know as far as their eyes. All right, and then you'll also be able to quality control the wrist above elbow and things like that. I do like the butt copy, like we talked about from a single hand ball security standpoint, because if I can see the ball on film from the butt copy, that tells me that there's a flaw in your ball security. You need to tuck the elbow. All right, but I think you obviously you learn a few things about the rep from this camera angle as well. But my favorite part of it is the eyes, and so you see here his eyes are up. Okay, here's kind of a vice situation because we're in traffic. Okay, he's got he's got an off-ball defender, okay, but he needs to grab the watch in order to get skinny right here and give himself a chance. And as you see what he does, we're not only protecting the football, but we're giving ourselves a chance to fall forward and get the contact balance like we showed with Joe Mixon. So it's 4 yards of contact, 4 yards